I encourage everybody to at least find out about roots and shoots, and you don't have to be a child. You can be 90. Yes. In fact, we have a lovely group that's called the Grandmother Group, and it's a grandmother with her 4 daughters and her 6 grandchildren, and they've kind of adopted, in quotes, a cerebral palsy child. That's a Roots and Shoots group.
Hello. You spoke beautifully about your education in Cambridge and how you found that the professors teaching that animals don't have emotions and there's a distinction between human beings and other animals. Right now, do you believe there is anything unique about human beings after working such a long time with chimpanzees? If there is such thing, if you believe there is, what is?
Well, I think the thing that makes us most unique, I mean, you know, we're all unique. Chimpanzees are unique. They're a unique being. There's nothing else like them. Dogs are unique. There's nothing else like them. And by the way, that is my favorite animal. It is not a chimpanzee. I don't think of chimpanzees as animals. We don't think of ourselves as animals. We are, they are, but, you know, they're sort of separate. What did you say? I lost my train of thought. Oh, the uniqueness, right. So, well, what we're doing now is unique. We are using our ability to communicate in a way that I can tell you things that you may not ever have seen. I can talk about it with words. We can learn about the past. We can make a plan. I could make a plan to come back here in 3 years and have a festival of all the Roots and Shoots groups around Poland. We could do it. And it could be hosted here. And most important, we can discuss. We can discuss ideas. The ideas can grow. If you have 10 people in a group, they all have their own different wisdom, and so an idea can start simple and grow and become very significant. So I think it's the explosive development of the intellect that makes us, it's our uniqueness, and that makes it all the more peculiar that the most intellectual creature that's ever walked on the planet is stupid enough to destroy its only home, which is what we're busily doing right now. Yes. What? Yes, right. But no, chimps understand abstract. It's just this kind of language, the way we communicate. Chimps can learn it, but they haven't developed it, and we have. Okay? Yes, there's 2 young people here. 2 Roots and Shoots, yes, and then you.
What was the best Roots and Shoots project you ever seen?
Well, it's very difficult. I've seen so many amazing Roots and Shoots projects, but one I loved was up from the north of England, and they were kids of about 10 to 13, and they discovered that once upon a time where they lived it was all forest, but the forest had gone, and they decided that they would try and plant trees, indigenous ones, to bring the forest back. So they learned that the CO2 emitted by cars was causing greenhouse gases. So even while they were planting trees, and they had to plant something like 6 million, I think, but they didn't despair. And even while they were planting them, all this CO2 was counteracting what they were planting. So they decided to encourage people to ride bicycles. So then they found lots of people couldn't ride bicycles, so they started bicycle lessons. Then they found that most people had to come along a main road, and when you're learning how to ride a bicycle, it's dangerous to be on a main road. So they got the teachers to volunteer to be on the outside of what they called the bicycle train. And then they thought that wasn't very effective, so they asked the city council to build a bicycle trail, and they were told it was too expensive. So then they found a disused railway line, and they used that for a bit, but it was a bit bumpy, so they asked the city council if they would pave it over. And the city council said not enough money. So they got all their parents and teachers to write to the city council. The city council said, okay, we'll do it over 3 years. And then they thought, well, what are we doing with all these bicycles? When it rains, they're all getting rusty. So they had a huge collection of empty plastic bottles, and they built a shed out of plastic bottles. And then they started putting up bird boxes for the kind of birds that should live in the habitat that they were now restoring. And they learned about piles of rocks where insects can live. And it just went on and on like that, and they're still doing it. There was one other question there, and then this one down here.
I have one question. What other animal did you help than the chimpanzees?
Well, I love dogs. The other animal I wanted to study was I wanted to study elephants. I wanted to study mongooses. I wanted to study all kinds of other animals, and obviously I can't study them all. But through Roots and Shoots, I can inspire other people to study fascinating animals and also to protect them. So that's how I'm able to show that I care about all animals through young people like you.
Works. Some 15 years ago, in Tanzania, there was a young Polish lady, Magda Łukasik, who wrote a letter to the Polish embassy. I must visit Gombe. I have to meet Dr. Jane Goodall. Please help me, ambassador. And I was the addressee of this letter. And why I am recalling this moment, because it happened for the first time in my life. I was able to assist someone to fulfill the dream. Second, I think it makes a connection to what you said, the lesson you got from your mother. If you desire, if you strive for something, you can achieve it. Please believe it. And I think that was the case of Magda. And finally, Magda, she was a graduate of veterinary of Warsaw University, and I think she convinced you, because finally she landed up in Gombe in your institute, because when she was a student she was observing apes, maybe chimps in the Polish zoo.
That's right.
And she was working with the zoo personnel as well. And in one moment she has shown you on her arm that she was bitten by a chimp. But I think that was a kind of vaccination, because it made her to go there. So I wanted to say that I don't know where Magda is now. Maybe she's in South Africa, but certainly that's one of the Polish resource person for Roots and Shoots. Whether she is, because she spent some time in Gombe, and she published a book in Poland as well.
Yeah, and she wrote for the newspapers. She sent articles back.
Also,
she?
Yes,
Yes.
She was on the cover of the Wysokie Obcasy one day as
that's
well,
right.
in Polish. Yes. So.
And then she went to South Africa. Now she's in Rwanda with the gorilla team. Doing veterinary work with the gorilla team.
So I
and
think
we're in touch. Yeah.
That's another case for the next film of the Jane's Magic, the kind of little moment of sunshine in her life, and that's a magic. Karibu sana nyumbani.
Asante sana. Right, is anybody right at the back that I've missed? No, all right, you.
My name is Isabella, and I also love dogs. I must confess that the most beautiful and moving view in my life was the sight of mountain gorillas in Bwindi, Uganda. And later on, when I came to the Kibale forest and I saw the chimps hunting over some kind of monkeys, I was shocked that they can't be that aggressive. I know that they are potential predators, omnivorous, and so on and so forth. But I have two questions about aggression. First is whether the chimps are capable of killing just for fun, like humans unfortunately do sometimes, and killing for fun, not for food. And the other question is, do they take revenge on long-forgotten enemies, like on humans who hurt them in the past, or bush pigs, or, I don't know, baboons?
Okay, well, they certainly can bear a grudge for at least a day, and they can, if they meet a chimpanzee against whom they have a grudge, they can attack them even after several hours. But they can also, in zoo situations where maybe a certain keeper or director is hated by the chimps, if they get the opportunity, they will hurt them and attack them. And the first question you asked, I've only known one chimpanzee ever who hunted for fun. He was a very successful hunter, and on this occasion he'd already hunted once and handed over the meat and hunted again, and then he's just sitting there eating, and he's watching, and he's so excited by it all, and he finally flings aside that meat and runs down and makes another kill. But normally they don't behave like that.
Okay. Dr. Goodall, I have a gift for you.
Oh,
This is a portrait of Mvirima. This is a silverback, mountain gorilla silverback from the Rushakura family in the Bwindi forest. I would be honored if you accepted that gift from me. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So maybe one more question. Yes, we got. Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you very much. Is your name in here? Is your name in here? Okay. Oh, all right. Okay. Well, I think this should be the last question. Oh, there's two. I'm hoping somebody's going to tell me when to stop. So I don't know what the time is. And you've got to see a film. Okay. There's one, two. All right.
Okay. I speak French and Polish, so. Zrobię zamieszanie, więc zadam pytanie po polsku, może ktoś mnie nie tłumaczył. Ja chciałem się zapytać, dlatego że my wiemy, że w kulturze afrykańskiej nie przejmujemy się tak jak inne kultury zwierzętami, to znaczy mamy zwierzęta domowe, natomiast jeżeli chodzi o dzikie zwierzęta, albo wioska czy region ma jakieś zwierzę, które jest totemem, do którego podchodzą z szacunkiem, natomiast nie ma tej opieki specjalnej nad zwierzętami, powiedzmy, dzikimi. Jak pani tłumaczy ludziom swoją pracę, to znaczy potrzeby tej pracy w różnych regionach Afryki?
Well, I find that, you know, when the Roots and Shoots groups really began because of animals, and that when you talk to young people in Africa, they start to think differently. And we've had examples of young people from a hunting community learning about Roots and Shoots, and actually this young man of 15 persuaded his uncle, who was a hunter, to turn from hunting wild animals to raising chickens. And between them, this 15-year-old and his uncle persuaded 75 hunters to stop hunting wild animals and raise chickens instead. So it's a question of sensitizing them when they're young, and all children are the same, whether they're African, Chinese, European, whatever they are. They all, as young children, they have the same curiosity, they have the same potential for showing concern and care for animals. I found it everywhere. So it's a question of getting these education programs further and further out into different parts of Africa. Okay, we could talk about that later. Yes?